Hello, this is Daniel Mart back again. I'm an actor and filmmaker based out of South Florida, and as promised, I'm finally going to be doing a video on what my career goals for this year are. Now, as I've talked about in some previous videos, last year was a very informative year for me in terms of what my actual career goals are. Last year, I did a video showing a retrospective of how I've been here in the industry, in the acting industry for 10 years. And as I explained in some other videos, such as my top 10 things that happened to me last year video, or what to expect for me from this year video, for example, or my thank you video at the end of last year, I had expressed some concerns and trepidations in regards to me continuing on with my film career. And that's basically what I want to discuss about in this video. As you guys saw last year in a video or two, I also did a few videos where I was like, hey, I'm here at a job fair, or hey, I'm currently looking for another job, X, Y, and Z. And just to kind of get it out of the way, I'm really going into education now. So for those who don't know, I have 4 different jobs, essentially. I have the acting and filmmaking job, so there's that, but I'm also a stylist at Banana Republic, which I'm actually going to be going to work for the first time since last year, right before I went to Colombia, so go figure. And so yeah, I should be in Banana Republic in about half an hour, I say as I'm looking at my watch, but so that's in about half an hour. I also do Trivia Nation, or Trivia Nights with my friends, and that's under Trivia Nation, which we also had our 1 year anniversary last year, in Halloween essentially. But the last job, which is the one that I've really dedicated myself to last year, is education. Specifically, I started off at first as being a substitute teacher through Kelly, which is a thing we have down here in Florida. I'm not sure if it's a nationwide thing, but we have it here in Florida, which is Kelly Education's Frontline. And basically, they help connect substitute teachers like me to all the local schools in the area. And if they need a substitute, they just call you up, hit you up, and you can accept the job or not. It's very competitive because sometimes I'll get a notification, and by the time I even get onto the app, which is literally like maybe 5 seconds later, the job is already gone. So it's that competitive, and it is very hard to get jobs sometimes. The idea is to build up a repertoire, build up connections with some of these schools, but it's very hard sometimes when you don't really go to that many schools to begin with, and especially if a lot of these jobs are being taken up almost instantaneously. But I've done it on and off, every here and there, whenever I can, if I'm able to, and if I actually manage to get the job. I actually did a job last week on Wednesday, actually, so like exactly a week ago. So yeah. But from there, I really started going into the education field. So I started doing that, give or take, April, May of last year, and from there on, I've kind of just continued on the education field. A lot of times when I do a subbing job, it tends to be with special needs kids, usually elementary school kids, but sometimes it's been with high school kids. It's often been with special needs kids when it comes to the younger kids, kids with either mental or physical disabilities, or at-risk youths when it comes to high school kids. So those kids who are like on the path to crimes, or who have done crimes, or have been in trouble with the law every here and there. So those are the two I don't know, classes, I guess you could say, that I've worked with specifically a lot. And through that, and because of that, it's one of those things that I've really come to take an interest on. And that's kind of what I want to really explore this year. How can I continue on that education path, working again specifically with these at-risk youths, with these mentally or physically handicapped kids. And that's really where my heart's really been going to in the past few months. It's one of those things I basically took to it almost immediately. I basically started enjoying it almost immediately, just putting a smile on these kids' faces, or for like the older kids, for the high school kids, giving them an example of a person who sometimes admittedly did struggle through life, but did come out well on the other side, and giving them some of my life advice. And that's one of those things I've really been looking to. And as I continued on this journey of education, I kind of slowly started realizing that maybe acting and filmmaking isn't the right plan for me. No, that's not to say I'm going to completely give up acting and filmmaking. I still want to do it in some capacity, but at this moment in time, I'm not sure if I want to continue that as a career, or if I just want to keep that as a hobby. To kind of go along with it, I'm also at the moment taking the RBT classes, which is that's what the acronym stands for. I'm about halfway through the course. I wanted to be done with it around this time, to be honest, late January, early February, but I'll be honest, I got very lazy at the end of last year, November, December of last year. So hopefully I'll be done with it by mid-March at the latest. So we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, that's basically to, again, help with these kids with disabilities, the young kids with disabilities. And yeah, right now I'm trying to find a job in that area. I've talked to a few people. The one thing with it is the fact that for some of these jobs, you need to have the RBT certificates already before working with them. Whereas with other companies or organizations, you don't need it. You could still be on the RBT plan. You could still be taking the classes, but you don't necessarily need to have the certification yet. So that's what I've been doing right now, kind of talking to different agencies or organizations and seeing where I can serve or work and go from there. I've also just been considering just becoming an overall teacher in general, because that's the thing. You could either work as a counselor therapist with the RBT and still work within the education field in that regard, or you could just work as a straight up teacher teaching these kids, or even if I don't end up working with special needs kids, still having that backbone of education, so to speak, or having that foundation and being able to work with those kids is still a major help regardless. So that's kind of my thoughts process at the moment. And yeah, I just wanted to give this quick update on my career because, again, I talked about it a lot last year. I talked about it already a lot in these first few videos of the year. And I kind of just want to kind of keep myself accountable. Like I said, I've been in the industry for 10 years. And last year was just really, I just felt really burnt out at the end of last year with a lot of stuff that I did. One of the major contributors to me feeling burnt out was just the fact that a lot of the projects I have been doing recently really weren't fulfilling. And on top of the fact, a lot of these projects, I don't know what happened in the past year and a half, but for whatever reason, a lot of these projects I'm a part of just aren't seeing the light of day, whether it be because the producers are stealing the actual film from their kids, from their students, just like the Florida Film Institute did, for example. There's been a lot of reports about that actually recently, so I'll see what happens with that. To just like the filmmakers not wanting to finish their film for whatever reason, to them saying, oh, yeah, it's done, but it's not really done because we still have to edit it and whatever. But it's like, didn't you turn this in for a class? Like, stuff like, no. And that's just the student films. There's also like the bigger stuff where I've just like not really been putting my full heart into it. And it's like, what am I doing here? After a while, that's also kind of how I felt after a while. Like, just what am I doing here? I'm not really enjoying the process anymore. It's getting very boring. It's getting very tedious. I just feel burnt out. I don't feel like I'm being used to the best of my abilities. And I'll be honest, very few times have I felt that I've been used to the best of my abilities as an actor or otherwise. And that really did lead to a lot of burnout in my part. So yeah, education's where I'm going for this year. That's where I'm really putting my focus on this year. I'm not sure if I will do any filmmaking thing this year, to be completely honest with you. I do have an event later this month, which I should go to. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to it, to be honest, but I should go to it. So there's an event later this month. And then aside from maybe the 48 in around June or July, I don't really know if I'm going to be doing anything else this year, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, besides the point, that's basically what I want to discuss about my current career goals and my current career plans in education. And yeah, we'll see what happens throughout the rest of this year. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Comment all that down below. Let me know what are your thoughts on this new transition. Do you guys have any advice? If you guys are a teacher or have worked with special needs kids or at-risk youths, comment some advice that I could need down below. Put that all down below right there so I can learn about it. And hopefully we'll see what happens in the future. I'll probably make another video sometime in the future in the year saying, hey, this is an update, But yeah, but that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.